around the nation, to every corner of the world, delivering the stories that matter. This is First Next News.
Did make mention of the issue of state security, the security officials being familiar with the terrain, being familiar with the language, being familiar with the environment. Then, of course, that brings us to the issue of the farmer ashes that we also sort of addressed. Now I'm trying to look at it from this perspective. If we have the state police drawn from within the local communities, then what happens to a situation where maybe there's a clash of interest between an indigent and a non-indigent? The non-indigent gets protection from the police, will give you assured of protection.
Well, thank you very much. What I was referring to when I spoke about the farmers' water crisis is the fact that providing and implementing state police in the state is not the only solution to insecurity. That there are so many issues that are underlying that we need to resolve. And one of those issues is the issue of farmer murder. If we can appropriately resolve these issues, it will reduce the skirmishes and conflicts that even require policing. So that is the point I was trying to make, and I think you sort of maybe a bit missed that. So if we're able to provide areas for our herders to graze, where they can graze effectively, where they are happy to be grazing on, then the farmers can have their farms without anybody intruding on their farms, and you avoid those clashes, which at times degenerate to ethnic issues. So we need to look at some of these issues. They will be part of our non-kinetic measures into resolving clashes and issues that degenerate, that we have to call the police team to. So, but effectively, there are a few things I've touched on. One, this is a very audacious bill. This is a laudable achievement by the Tinubu-led administration. Many previous governments have attempted to do this without success. It's not easy for a president to sit down and say, I'm devolving my powers, particularly law enforcement and commander-in-chief powers to the states. Ashwaju has led from the front and he has demonstrated leadership once again. It is clearly one of the most audacious steps in confronting insecurity in this country. And like I said, there's a national consensus around this development. Now, once this amendment is passed, once the bill is also tweaked, that is also passed, and it becomes law, and we have the bill that talks and digs into, spells out how the operation and how the operations of the police will be, how they be constituted, how they relate to federal police, the laws that guiding them, the various states police service commission, how they relate to the police council, and all, funding, training, and so on and so forth. Once that is done, and the police actually established in the various states, the first thing you will experience will be a positive development in terms of job creation. So a lot of jobs will not be available at the states. That's number one. Number two, you will also see an attendant increase the number of policemen. So you will see an improved ratio between number of police to citizens, which, like I said earlier, should be about one police to 250, or worst case UN benchmark is one police to 600 to 400. Today, we have one police to 600-700 people in Nigeria. So that immediately gives you an impression that of security. You begin to feel better secure. And again, like I said, there is no better example of community policing. They are being recruited from their various states. They are working in those states. They speak the language. They understand the culture. They understand all the nuances. They understand. They are able to better provide intelligence. And this has happened before. During the colonial era, when we had, the local police, and we had and it worked very well. So I believe that all we need to do is to ensure that you have the necessary governance structure to ensure that there is no abuse. Necessary governance structure to ensure that they are well trained, they are well funded, they are well paid. Because the last thing you want is to have a state police that are not well funded. They can be put in the hands of anybody. So all in all, I believe this is an amazing job. And like I said earlier, this should be kind to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for working it up and seeing it through. And I want to thank Mrs. Arise and this day for championing this town hall meeting. This is kind of engagement that we should have, so that we can have the input and feedback of all Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
From around the nation to every corner of the world, delivering the stories that matter. This is First Next News.